There are 7 specific behaviors a horse only shows to someone it has decided to fully trust. Not tolerate, not comply with, trust, completely, without reservation. Most horse owners have seen these behaviors. Almost none of them knew what they were looking at. They thought it was the horse being calm or friendly or simply well-trained. They had no idea they were witnessing one of the most selective bonding processes in the animal kingdom, a process that in the wild determines survival, that cannot be faked, and that, once established, is almost never fully withdrawn. If your horse has shown you even 3 of these 7 signs, you have been chosen, and you probably didn't even know it. Welcome to Horse Mind. If this is your first video here, subscribe, because we go deeper into horse behavior and cognition than anywhere else. Today, we are going through all 7 signs, one by one, with the science behind each one. By the end of this video, you will know exactly where you stand with every horse in your life. Trust in the equine world is not an emotion. It is a biological state. When a horse fully trusts an individual, human or otherwise, its stress response system operates at a measurably lower baseline. Cortisol is lower. Heart rate variability is higher. Behavioral researchers have been documenting and measuring this physiological condition for decades. The 7 behaviors below are the external expression of that internal state. They are not learned. They cannot be trained into existence. They emerge when a horse's nervous system has made a specific decision, and only then. Here are the 7 signs. Pay attention to how many you recognize. Sign 1. They follow you without being asked. Not because they're herd-bound, not because they're looking for food, but because you have become, in their internal map of the world, a source of safety. In the wild, horses follow the individual they trust most. Not the loudest, not the strongest, but the calmest, the most consistent, the one whose signals have proven reliable over time. If your horse follows you across the paddock when you haven't called it, when there is no lead, when there is no food, that is not coincidence. That is a choice. And it is one of the clearest expressions of equine trust that exists. Sign 2. They rest in your presence. A horse cannot rest. Truly rest, weight shifted to one hip, lower lip loose, eyes heavy, when it perceives any threat in its environment. The survival reflex makes full rest physiologically impossible under stress. If your horse falls into a dozing state while you are nearby, its nervous system has classified you not just as safe, but as a co-regulator. Your presence is actively making it feel more secure, not less. This is not affection. This is biology. And it is one of the highest forms of trust a prey animal can offer. Sign 3. They groom you. Mutual grooming in horses, the gentle nibbling along the neck and withers, is a behavior reserved exclusively for members of the inner social circle. Research into equine social behavior describes this as an affiliative behavior that reduces cortisol and signals deep familiarity. When a horse attempts to groom you, when it reaches its lips toward your arm, your jacket, your hair, it is not being rude. It is offering you membership. It is including you in its most intimate social behavior. Sign 4. They show you their vulnerable side. A horse's most vulnerable point is its flank, the soft area between the rib cage and the hip. In nature, this is where predators attack. A horse that positions its flank toward you, especially if it then drops its head or shifts its weight, is demonstrating an almost complete absence of threat perception in your presence. It is showing you exactly the part of its body it would protect most fiercely from anything it feared. If your horse turns its back to you and relaxes, it is not ignoring you. It is trusting you with its life. Sign 5. They come to the gate when they hear you, before they can see you. This is about recognition and anticipation. Research into equine auditory cognition shows horses can recognize the specific sound patterns of bonded individuals. A particular car engine, a specific footstep rhythm, a voice frequency, and respond with approach behavior before any visual confirmation. If your horse moves toward the gate when it hears you arrive, that is not training. Training produces response to commands. What you are seeing is voluntary movement toward a source of positive emotional association. Your horse is choosing to come to you, unasked, before you even arrive. Sign 6. They lick and chew when you walk away. This one surprises people. After a calm interaction, if your horse watches you walk away and begins a slow, rhythmic licking and chewing movement, even with nothing in its mouth, it is not hungry. It is processing. Behavioral researchers describe licking and chewing as a parasympathetic behavior, a sign that the nervous system is integrating a positive experience. The fact that it happens as you leave means the interaction was experienced as deeply safe, and the nervous system is completing the cycle of regulation. Your horse is literally digesting the feeling of you. Sign 7. They rest their head on you. This is the rarest and the most profound of all 7 signs. A horse's head weighs between 12 and 18 kilograms. Lowering it onto a person's shoulder or chest requires complete physical surrender. There is no quick escape from that position. No prey animal offers that kind of vulnerability without absolute certainty of safety. If your horse has ever rested its head on you, softly, without being asked, and remained there, you have been chosen in the deepest way a horse can choose a person. That is not a behavior you can train into existence. It is a behavior that emerges when an animal has decided, at the level of its nervous system, that there is nowhere it would rather be. So what do you do with this information? If you recognized 5 or more of these signs, your relationship is already extraordinary. The work now is to protect it, to maintain the consistency and presence that built it. If you recognize 2 or 3, you are on the threshold. Your horse is beginning to extend trust. The most important thing you can do right now is nothing dramatic. No grand gestures. Just show up the same way every day. Trust in horses is not built in moments. It is built in the accumulated weight of ordinary, consistent interactions. And if you recognized none of these signs, if your horse complies but doesn't connect, that is not a judgment. It is a starting point. Every horse that has ever chosen a person started from exactly that place. The signs will come, but they will only come when the horse decides they should. Your job is simply to give it enough consistent, calm, honest reasons to make that decision. If this video changed the way you see your horse, please give it a like. Share it with someone who has a horse and needs to hear this. Subscribe to Horse Mind. We are building something different here. Tell me in the comments, which of the 7 signs has your horse shown you? And did you know what it meant at the time? I read every single comment, and I will see you in the next video, where we go into what happens to your horse when you leave, what he does when you're not there, and what it tells you about how deeply you've been chosen. Until then, notice the signs. They've been there all along.